descend to the nether world. From the great heaven, she set her mind on the great below. From the great heaven, the goddess set her mind on the great below. From the great heaven, Inanna set her mind on the great below. My mistress abandoned heaven, abandoned earth, and descended to the underworld. Inanna abandoned heaven, abandoned earth, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the office of En, abandoned the office of Lagar, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Eana in Unug, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Emuk Kalama in Bad Tibira, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Jiguna in Zabalam, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Ekara in Adab, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Barag Durjara in Nibru, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Ursai Kalama in Kig, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Eulmake in Agade, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Ibgal in Umma, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Edilmuna in Urim, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Amake e Kug in Kisiga, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Ekdam Kug in Jirsu, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Echeg Mechedu in Izin, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Anzagar in Akkak, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Nijinjar Kug in Kurupag, and descended to the underworld. She abandoned the Ekag Ula in Kazalu, and descended to the underworld. She took the 7 divine powers. She collected the divine powers and grasped them in her hand. With the good divine powers, she went on her way. She put a turban headgear for the open country on her head. She took a wig for her forehead. She hung small lapis lazuli beads around her neck. She placed twin egg-shaped beads on her breast. She covered her body with a pala dress, the garment of ladyship. She placed mascara, which is called Let a Man Come, Let Him Come, on her eyes. She put the pectoral, which is called Come Man Come, over her breast. She placed a gold ring on her hand. She held the lapis lazuli measuring rod and measuring line in her hand. Inanna traveled towards the underworld. Her minister Nisubur traveled behind her. All Inanna said to Nisubur, "Come, my faithful minister of Eana, my minister who speaks fair words, my escort who speaks trustworthy words. I am going to give you instructions. My instructions must be followed. I am going to say something to you. It must be observed. On this day I will descend to the underworld. When I have arrived in the underworld, make a lament for me on the ruined mounts. Beat the drum for me in the sanctuary. Make the rounds of the houses of the gods for me. Lacerate your eyes for me. Lacerate your nose for me. lacerate your ears for me in public. In private, lacerate your buttocks for me, like a pauper clothe yourself in a single garment, and all alone set your foot in the Ekur, the house of Enlil. When you have entered the Ekur, the house of Enlil, lament before Enlil. Father Enlil, don't let anyone kill your daughter in the underworld. Don't let your precious mare be alloyed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there with the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young Lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. If Elle does not help you in this matter, go to Urim. In the Emud Kura at Urim, when you have entered the Ekig Nujal, the house of Nanna, lament before Nanna. Father Nanna, don't let anyone kill your daughter in the underworld. Don't let your precious mare be alloyed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there with the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young Lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. And if Nanna doesn't help you in this matter, go to Eridug. In Eridug, when you have entered the house of Enki, lament before Enki. Father Enki, don't let anyone kill your daughter in the underworld. Don't let your precious mare be alloyed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there with the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young Lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. Father Enki, the Lord of great wisdom, knows about the life-giving plant and the life-giving water. He is the one who will restore me to life. When Inanna traveled on towards the underworld, her minister Nisubur traveled on behind her. She said to her minister Nisubur, "Go now, my Nisubur, and pay attention. Don't neglect the instructions I gave you." When Inanna arrived at the palace Ganzer, she pushed aggressively on the door of the underworld. She shouted aggressively at the gate of the underworld. "Open up, doorman, open up! Open up, Neti, open up! I am all alone and I want to come in." Neti, the chief doorman of the underworld, answered only Inanna. "Who are you?" "I am Inanna going to the east." "If you are Inanna going to the east, why have you traveled to the land of no return? How did you set your heart on the road whose traveler never returns?" Only Inanna answered him, "Because Lord Gudgal Anna, the husband of my elder sister Ole Erikigala, has died. In order to have his funeral rites observed, she offers generous libations at his wake. That is the reason." Neti, the chief doorman of the underworld, answered only Inanna. "Stay here, Inanna. I will speak to my mistress. I will speak to my mistress Erikigala and tell her what you have said." Neti, the chief doorman of the underworld, entered the house of his mistress Erikigala and said, "My mistress, there is a long girl outside. It is Inanna, your sister, and she has arrived at the palace Ganzer." She pushed aggressively on the door of the underworld. She shouted aggressively at the gate of the underworld. She has abandoned Inanna and has descended to the underworld. She has taken the 7 divine powers. She has collected the divine powers and grasped them in her hand. She has come on her way with all the good divine powers. She has put a turban headgear for the open country on her head. She has taken a wig for her forehead. She has hung small lapis lazuli beads around her neck. She has placed twin egg-shaped beads on her breast. She has covered her body with the pala dress of ladyship. She has placed mascara which is called Let a Man Come on her eyes. She has put the pectoral which is called Come Man Come over her breast. She has placed a gold ring on her hand. She is holding the lapis lazuli measuring rod and measuring line in her hand. When she heard this, Erekigala slapped the side of her thighs. She bit her lip and took the words too hard. She said to Neti, her chief doorman, "Come, Neti, my chief doorman of the underworld, don't neglect the instructions I will give you. Let the 7 gates of the underworld be bolted. Then let each door of the palace Ganzer be opened separately. As for her, after she has entered and crouched down and had her clothes removed, they will be carried away." Neti, the chief doorman of the underworld, paid attention to the instructions of his mistress. He bolted the 7 gates of the underworld. Then he opened each of the doors of the palace Ganzer separately. He said to Holy Inanna, "Come on, Inanna, and enter." And when Inanna entered, the lapis lazuli measuring rod and measuring line were removed from her hand. When she entered the first gate, the turban headgear for the open country was removed from her head. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the second gate, the small lapis lazuli beads were removed from her neck. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the third gate, the twin egg-shaped beads were removed from her breast. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the fourth gate, the Come Man Come pectoral was removed from her breast. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the fifth gate, the golden ring was removed from her hand. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the sixth gate, the lapis lazuli measuring rod and measuring line were removed from her hand. "What is this?" "Be silent, Inanna. A divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld." When she entered the seventh gate, the pala dress, the garment of ladyship, was removed from her body. "What is this?" Be silent, Inanna, a divine power of the underworld has been fulfilled. Inanna, you must not open your mouth against the rights of the underworld. After she had crouched down and had her clothes removed, they were carried away. Then she made her sister Erikigel arise from her throne, and instead she sat on her throne. The Anunna, the 7 judges, rendered their decision against her. They looked at her. It was the look of death. They spoke to her. It was the speech of anger. They shouted at her. It was the shout of heavy guilt. The afflicted woman was turned into a corpse, and the corpse was hung on a hook. After 3 days and 3 nights had passed, her minister Nisubur, her minister who speaks fair words, her escort who speaks trustworthy words, carry out the instructions of her mistress. Did not forget her orders. She did not neglect her instructions. She made a lament for her in her ruined houses. She beat the drum for her in the sanctuaries. She made the rounds of the houses of the gods for her. She lacerated her eyes for her. She lacerated her nose. In private she lacerated her buttocks for her. Like a pauper she clothed herself in a single garment, and all alone she set her foot in the Ekur, the house of Enlil. When she had entered the Ekur, the house of Enlil, she lamented before Enlil. Father Enlil, don't let anyone kill your daughter in the underworld. Don't let your precious mare be allowed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there in the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. In his rage, Father Enlil answered Nisubur. My daughter craved the great heaven, and she craved the great below as well. Inanna craved the great heaven, and she craved the great below as well. The divine powers of the underworld are divine powers which should not be craved, for whoever gets them must remain in the underworld. Who, having got to that place, could then expect to come up again? Thus Father Enlil did not help in this matter, so she went to Urim. In the Emud Kura at Urim, when she had entered the Ekig Nujal, the house of Nanna, she lamented before Nanna. Father Nanna, don't let your daughter be killed in the underworld. Don't let your precious mare be allowed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there with the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. In his rage, Father Nanna answered Nisubur. My daughter craved the great heaven, and she craved the great below as well. Inanna craved the great heaven, and she craved the great below as well. The divine powers of the underworld are divine powers which should not be craved, for whoever gets them must remain in the underworld. Who, having got to that place, could then expect to come up again? Thus Father Nanna did not help her in this matter, so she went to Eridug. In Eridug, when she had entered the house of Enki, she lamented before Enki. Father Enki, don't let anyone kill your daughter in the underworld. Don't let your precious metal be allowed there with the dirt of the underworld. Don't let your precious lapis lazuli be split there with the mason stone. Don't let your boxwood be chopped up there with the carpenter's wood. Don't let young Lady Inanna be killed in the underworld. Father Enki answered Nisubur. What has my daughter done? She has me worried. What has Inanna done? She has me worried. What has the mistress of all the lands done? She has me worried. What has the mistress of heaven done? She has me worried. Thus Father Enki helped her in this matter. He removed some dirt from the tip of his fingernail and created the Kurjara. He removed some dirt from the tips of his other fingernail and created the Galatura. To the Kurjara he gave the life-giving plant. To the Galatura he gave the life-giving water. Then Father Enki spoke out to the Galatura and the Kurjara. One of you sprinkle the life-giving plant over air, and the other the life-giving water. Go and direct your steps to the underworld. Flit past the door like flies. Slip through the door pivots like phantoms. The mother who gave birth Erikigala on account of her children is lying there. Her holy shoulders are not covered by a linen cloth. Her breasts are not full like a Kagan vessel. Her nails are like a pickaxe upon air. The hair of her head is bunched up as it were leeks. When she says, "O my heart," you are to say, "You are troubled, our mistress, O your heart." When she says, "O my body," you are to say, "You are troubled, our mistress, O your body." She will then ask, "Who are you?" Speaking to you from my heart to your heart, from my body to your body. If you are gods, let me talk with you. If you are mortals, may a destiny be decreed for you. Make or swear this by heaven and earth. They will offer you a river full of water. Don't accept it. They will offer you a field with its grain. Don't accept it. But say to her, "Give us the corpse hanging on a hook." She will answer, "That is the corpse of your queen." Say to her, "Whether it is that of our king, whether it is that of our queen, give it to us." She will give you the corpse hanging on a hook. One of yours sprinkle on it the life-giving plant, and the other the life-giving water. Thus let Inanna arise.